I've been testing out the Nothing earbuds for a bit now, and there's a lot to like, especially if you're into a sleek design, punchy bass, and everyday convenience. But they're not perfect. So the real question is, are these on par with the AirPod Pro 2s, and or if these are a viable option in 2025 still? So I use these in pretty much real world experiences. I use them for the gym, I use them at work, and just pretty much everything I use my AirPod Pro 2s for, I substituted with the Nothing earbuds. Now, we don't do all the intro stuff, so let's just jump straight into it. You already know my name, Augie G, but let's get straight into the fit, feel, and comfortability. Now, they look just like the freaking AirPod Pro 2s, damn near. Maybe not just like it, but the way they feel, the way they fit in your ear. If the AirPod Pro 2s fit good in your ear, then these are gonna fit good in your ear as well, and you don't have anything to worry about in that type of stuff, you know what I mean? At the gym, I use them, they're great. They didn't fall out of my ear. I was running, I was doing various different exercises to where the earbuds would fall out of my ear, and they're perfectly fine. And if you guys haven't seen any of my videos, or you haven't been watching the screen, you know I got these big ears, so anything that has like wingtips or anything like that, they don't fit too good in my ear. And the AirPod Pro design always fit good in my ear, and they never fell out. And these do the same thing. They fit nice and snug in my ear. They stick out a bit, which is kind of a little funky because when you think of the AirPod Pro 2s, they kind of sit in there nice, discreet in a way. With these, since it has this black piece right here that's a little bigger, it then kind of just sticks out a bit more. Here, I'll put it in my ear real quick. They stick out a bit more, which it's not bad at all, honestly. And they're still discreet, but they look damn nice in my ear, and that's all I care about. And they're not like some big ass like them Bose earbuds that they came out with, them big ass circular ones that kind of pop out. These are still nice and discreet, and I still like them, but still wanted to note that overall. Moving on to the connectivity. So with the connectivity, they're good. I mean, they're perfectly fine. I want to first talk about the multi-point, or what they call the dual connection. And with that, it works perfectly fine. If you guys don't know, I work on a Windows computer, but then I also have my Apple device right next to me, which is typically my iPhone. And I always want something to at least give me dual connection, because the AirPod Pro 2s, they don't allow that from Windows to Apple. They only do Apple to Apple. So with these, they do it flawlessly. I had no problem with it. The only thing I would have to note to you guys is that it takes about like a 6-second delay for it to pause on your Apple device per se, and then go over to a Windows device. It takes about a 6-second delay, which isn't anything crazy. It's nice and flawless anyways. So like if you pause it, you talk to somebody, blah, 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 and then you pick up on the Windows, then it's gonna be perfectly fine. It's gonna seamlessly travel over. And I learned today is if they die on you and you put it back in the case, all you gotta do is just connect it again, and then you're good. I mean, you literally just put them in your ear and they seamlessly connect. So the dual connection, flawless in my opinion, has that 6-second delay, but it's not a deal breaker or anything in my opinion. It does have Bluetooth 5.3, so it's still gonna have good Bluetooth. But the thing I did notice that I do have to tell you guys is that when I was at the gym, and I don't know if it's because there's a bunch of just frequencies going on in the gym with people having their devices out, and then you got speakers going, you got all these different devices all in this one little compact gym. It did break up a few times, and I actually lost connection a few times, where I just had to pinch on the stem, and I just played the song again. So that's something to note that I have to be transparent with you guys about, because on this channel we keep everything transparent. We're not biased. I mean legit. Like if it's trash, and I gotta tell you guys. Like there's something bad about it, I gotta tell you guys, and that's just how it is. Because why else are you guys watching me? You guys want me to sugarcoat shit? I don't think so. With these, they do have some sort of connectivity issues in the gym. Personally, when I was at work today, I used it pretty much all day at work. No issues at all, did not disconnect at all. I was perfectly fine, but just note when you're in probably high frequency environments, it's probably gonna break up, or you're gonna lose some signal for like a quick second or so. So that's really all you have to worry about with these earbuds in terms of connectivity. I'm still able to walk away from my phone and hear my music pretty nice. Now, if I go too far, then I start to have some drop back issues, and that was just only at the gym that I tested it, but other than that, that's really it. And then to kind of wrap up with the connectivity, I want to go ahead and put the battery life in there as well. I can say that they don't last longer than the AirPod whenever you keep it in your ear outside of the case, but it does have up to 8.5 hours of playback with ANC off, 40.5 hours total with the case, and then up to 5.2 hours of playback with ANC on, and then 24 hours total with the case. So, and then the fast charging gives you 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes, gives up to 8.5 hours playback with ANC off. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys, but to keep it in layman terms, they last a long time. I have an 8-hour day. and it took about 5 hours or so with the ANC on. So that's just food for thought. I think the AirPods last a tad bit longer with ANC on. So I mean, I have to double check on that, but it just feels like it does in general. But I mean, nonetheless, it's still gonna give you average battery duration with these earbuds. Sound quality. I know this is something that we all wait for, and if you already skipped through the video, we're on sound quality now. So with the sound quality, I can just off rip tell you guys, the AirPod Pro 2s, in terms of technically sounding, they sound better, but this is all subjective at this rate. Me personally, I'm gonna use these as a gym. And really when I go to work, because I use, like I said, that dual connection, that's if I don't buy some other earbuds. But mainly for the gym, I'm gonna be rocking these. The reason why is because the bass is so damn good on these. Something that the AirPod Pro 2s lack, which is bass. And maybe, like I said, that's subjective. Maybe that's fine with you and you don't care about the bass. But with me, I like the bass thumping in my earbuds. That's something that the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultras did for me, while also pairing it with just freaking beautiful sound, but they just didn't work for me overall. But these right here, they give you average sound quality, so something that just that's up to par, doesn't sound terrible by any means, but the bass is super clear on this. Obviously, if you overextend the bass to a certain degree, it's gonna sound all like muffled, almost like you're playing it out of your freaking car with subs in, going crazy and stuff like that. These right here, if you keep it at pretty much like normal / average levels, they even have a bass enhancer in the app. Dog, these mugs are fire when you're in the gym. Like if you listen to rap and stuff like that while you're in the gym, you need some extra bass. These mugs are fire for that perfect scenario, setting, environment. You know what I mean? But that's one thing I can't say is that sound quality, average, but the bass, freaking amazing. It doesn't give the artist that muffled sound at all, which I absolutely love and is perfect. And my bad, as I was talking, I was thinking too, one thing I left out in the sound quality is that if you don't have an iPhone, this gives you even more of a better experience because it has LDAC. I have an iPhone and it doesn't support that, at least over Bluetooth. I think it only supports lossless and that's connected. So that's a big L for me. So if you got an iPhone, you missed out on that LDAC, and if you don't know what LDAC is, it just pretty much just gives you a higher resolution, layman terms, because I'm not that tech savvy. No, I'm just kidding. Layman terms, it gives you just a higher resolution of streaming audio, in a sense. But if you have an iPhone, we miss out on that. If you don't have an iPhone, you know, you get that. So that's always nice, right? Now, ANC and transparency, I'm gonna put these together. So I'm just gonna tell you off rip. In the app, they have different levels of ANC, like low, mid, high, and then adaptive, I believe. In my personal opinion, I don't hear a difference in either of them. I think the ANC is kind of okay. It's not really good, to say the least. It gives you average active noise cancellation. It's not on par with like the AirPods, which the AirPods don't even have good ANC, which they do, but like when you compare it to other like high brand or high level, high priced earbuds such as like Technics, Bose, and all those other ones out there that have good ANC, then yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be on par with that. But you also got to think these are only $150. These aren't $300 earbuds. So you gotta expect some places are gonna have to cut corners around to make them affordable at this price range, especially with all the features that they give you, which we're gonna go over a little bit later. But the ANC, it's okay, not the greatest. And then the transparency, feel me? Okay. That is okay as well. It's nothing crazy. I do the AirPod Pro 2s, like I said, although I'm sorry that I'm comparing the two because they're two different levels in terms of like the price range and then what you're going to be getting in the AirPod Pro 2s compared to these. But they're just, the fact that they have the same form factor and kind of like the same purpose, that's the only thing I can really compare it to. But I mean, the transparency is okay. I can still be able to hear people when I have it on, but it's not going to be crystal clear by any means. So, and it also doesn't have any adaptive like freaking like spatial audio or anything like that. So, and that's something I don't even use anyways unless I'm watching movies with it. So that's it. Now with the mic, which is something that is pretty important, that in my opinion, a lot of earbuds aren't going to be on the level of AirPods in general, and that's just what any price range. The mic is okay. I talked to a lot of friends on FaceTime with these. They say that they can hear me perfectly fine. I will of course put a test with these in the video, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it now. This is a test using the Nothing earbuds. There's some birds chirping. There's a little bit of noise in the background, but not too much. But Just wanted to focus on the microphone quality. I don't think it sounds too bad. You'll be able to be heard from friends and stuff if you're on a phone call or something like that, but they won't be on par with AirPods. A lot of earbuds aren't on par with AirPods, but you guys let me know what you think. Okay, cool. So if you kind of hear it, it almost sounds a little robotic. I mean, they're, like I said, they're $150, so they're not gonna be like crystal clear. And to be honest, they're not gonna be on the level of AirPods. And I think a lot of earbuds on the market aren't on the level of AirPod Pro 2s when it comes to the mic quality, because they have probably some of the best crystal clear mics in just earbuds in general. So just wanted to point that out. Has a little robotic sound, but they can still hear you better. And they're not like the $300 Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds that have a absolute crappy mic in my personal opinion. Finally, the features and the app. I'm gonna put both of those together. I'm gonna start with the features. Now, obviously the case, it's a nice size. I mean, it's not super big, it's not super small at all. But one thing to note is that obviously it does have USB-C, which is great, and a power button, but it has wireless charging and it has that fast charging, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm sorry I keep throwing shade at you, Bose. Hopefully this doesn't ruin our future relationship, and I have a lot of your products, but the fact that you guys try to sell a $300 pair of earbuds and not have wireless charging, and these are $150 and they provide wireless charging, is absolutely abysmal in my personal opinion. I know a lot of people don't use wireless charging, but there are a lot of people that do, and I do use wireless charging myself, especially when I go to sleep. I just plop that thing on there and I'm good. And that's what I do with exactly these. Works flawlessly, charges really fast, and you're perfectly good. Another thing that I do want to go over is the actual kind of like function of these earbuds. Now, if you see, there's not really a touch sensitivity because you can look through the freaking earbud itself, but there is a little pinch design, which is similar, well, the same as the AirPod Pro 2s. It even gives you that same little clicking noise that you hear in the AirPod Pro 2s as well. The thing about the pitching, what the hell? The thing about the pinching on this one is that you get so much customization. Like you get double pinch, single pinch, double hold pinch, triple pinch, all these other pinches and stuff like that. They do have parts where you're not able to customize it, which makes sense. But one thing that I do not like, aside from the connectivity that I spoke about in the gym, that just kind of makes me mad, is that with the non-customizable functions in the earbuds, they didn't make a volume one non-customizable. And I mean, that can be a pro and a con for you guys. The reason why it's a con for me is because with the AirPods, I like the fact that I'm able to just swipe down on the actual sensor. Now, like I said, these are $150, so they're not going to give you like that type of swiping, that type of swiping stuff. Now, they are $150, so they're not going to give you that type of swiping sensor or anything like that. You can customize it however you like. Me, I just have it as a pinch and hold, but the only thing about that is it has some sort of like delay, to which whenever you pinch and hold, you'll then hear that click, and then the volume will go down before the click, if that makes sense, like slightly before. It's not really a deal breaker of any sort. It's just something to be worried about. It's just one of those things that's like, okay, you got to get used to like pinching, holding, or however you customize it in the app, because they allow you to do that. But nonetheless, the app and the customization of these earbuds are absolutely amazing. The app is straight to the point. Everything's laid out nice and easy for you guys and for all users, really. You're able to customize a bunch of stuff. You're able to fix the EQ, which is absolutely great. It has a really nice EQ, both basic for people like me and advanced for people like audiophiles. I don't touch that because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I just stick with the basic. I just use the regular balance. I use the balance and like simple preset, and then I use that bass enhancer. You guys know I use that bass enhancer. I put it at like level 4, and that mug sounds good while still sounding pretty damn loud. But in the app, you get a bunch of stuff like the ear tip fit test. You get freaking that bass enhancer. You get the EQ, and you get like the settings overall, not normal settings like dual connection and stuff like that. So the app is really great, and it actually fits the vibe of like these earbuds. So like I gotta give them props for that, because that is absolutely amazing, and I love the app. When compared to the AirPod Pro 2s, we all know the AirPod Pro 2s don't even have an app because it's all kind of put into the iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, then that's probably something you don't even have as an AirPod 2s. Like you probably got something like these, you got Galaxy Buds or whatever the case may be. But the fact that you get a nice app for both Android and iOS that's super like fully customizable is absolutely amazing. That's going to conclude today's video. I wanted to go over these earbuds, and I wanted to specifically compare it to the AirPod Pro 2s. Can I stamp these? Yes, I can definitely stamp these. These are a nice set of earbuds for $150. You get a plethora of features, and you get a lot of features for $150. Let's be honest. And the fact that they sound good and they give you that good punchy sound is absolutely amazing. Are they perfect? Not at all. You got to expect that they're going to cut corners with $150 earbuds. Can I recommend these over the AirPod Pro 2s? Not really. But if you don't have an iPhone, yes, of course. But if I'm talking to the iPhone users, I would just stick to the AirPod Pro 2s, especially if bass is something that's not too crazy for you and dual connection isn't crazy for you. Will I be rocking these? Yes, I will be, until I get other earbuds, which probably will be the Technics in the future of some sort, because that'll probably be like my daily drivers until the AirPod Pro 3s come out. But aside from that, like, these are very solid earbuds that I can definitely recommend to a lot of you guys. I can't really talk too bad on them. I mean, they do the job, and they sound good in the making, and they give you a bunch of different features, and that's all we can really ask for, right? You guys let me know if you guys have these earbuds. Let me know what your guys' experiences are with it. Let me know what you guys rock. Let me know if I should try any of them out. I love buying like technology, as you can tell, and I love just reviewing it for you guys and give you my personal opinion. I don't really, when I do these reviews, I don't look at other YouTubers and see what they say. I bought these, I didn't even watch a review on these, and I'm giving you my honest opinion based on how they work for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Per usual, thank you so much for taking the time out your day for watching this video. Like, subscribe, dislike, don't care. Talk to me in the comment section, and yeah, we out. Love you guys.